Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hello, I haven't posted a video on this channel in over 2 years, but I thought I miss this channel and I want to make more videos like this, so we're back. Entonces, bienvenidos a este video. Muchas gracias por estar aquí conmigo hoy. So, do you struggle with speaking Spanish? Do you feel nervous and unconfident and scared when having conversations? I understand because I used to be in your exact same position. So now I can go out on the street, I can speak to whoever I want in Spanish, and I feel good, I feel comfortable, and I feel relaxed. But it's taken me a long time to get to this point. So in this video, we're going to learn how you can go and have conversation with people without freezing up like an ice cube. Now, the first lesson is Namaste. What do I mean by this? I just mean relax. Take a deep breath. Oftentimes, what ends up happening is you've been learning Spanish for a while, you feel confident in your abilities, but you get extremely frustrated because when you go to have conversations with people, what happens? You seemingly forget everything you've learned for the past 6 months to a year to 5 years to whatever. So, by taking a breath, relaxing, not taking it too seriously, this is going to massively help you have conversations with people without feeling like the world is going to explode. Now, I don't know if this has happened to you, it's definitely happened to me, but oftentimes students will say that when they drink alcohol, for whatever reason, they feel like they can speak Spanish really well. And the reality is, it's not that you can necessarily speak Spanish better. What ends up happening is that your guard comes down, you feel more relaxed, and that innate confidence that's already within you comes out. And all of a sudden, all the things that you've spent lots of time learning, all of a sudden can come out freely without you putting up those fear barriers. Okay, so take a deep breath, relax, everything is okay, and no one's going to want to bite you or scream at you if you try to speak to them in Spanish. The next lesson is to practice using your tools. So, just like when you're trying to build a house, you have a toolbox when it comes to Spanish, okay? So, in your toolbox, you want to make sure to learn words and phrases that are going to be commonly used in conversations. So, this could be something like mucho gusto, ¿cómo estás? Yo quiero, hasta luego. Simple phrases like these are really going to help you have basic conversations in Spanish. And while you might get tired of having the same conversations over and over again, the most important thing is that you're putting these typical and commonly used phrases into practice so that you can build your confidence and then have more advanced conversations later on. So practice using your tools. Practice those very important phrases like mucho gusto, hasta luego, ¿cómo estás? And things like that. Next lesson, if it doesn't kill you, then what does it do? It makes you stronger. Look, you're not going to die if you go and have a conversation with some stranger in Spanish. You might feel nervous, you might feel your heart boom, 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 beating out of your chest, but the reality is you're not going to die. Take a deep breath. It is all going to be okay. And I promise you, the more and more you're having conversations, it's only going to make your Spanish better and it's only going to make you more confident. It's tricky because when we first start, we feel so nervous. We feel like, oh my gosh, they're gonna laugh at me, they're gonna make fun of me. But then what ends up happening is after that first conversation, you have this little win and you say, oh, okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought. The more and more you do this, the more and more confident you are going to become. And you're going to become extremely confident if you subscribe and also check out my website, SpanishWithNate.com. I have a free 7-day course on there that teaches you the basics of the language so that you can have a strong foundation so that when you get to that intermediate and advanced level, you can have conversations without feeling nervous and you can have impressive conversations that surprise people with your skills. Next lesson is to be a crazy person. I don't know about you, but I used to love talking to myself in Spanish. So when I first started learning, I don't know what it was, but for whatever reason, I would learn things and I would just repeat these things in my head over and over and over and over again. And I'd be sitting on the toilet like a crazy person going, talking to myself, having these imaginary conversations. However, this helps you a lot because what ends up happening is you say, how would I say blah, blah, blah? Then you say, okay, blah, blah. Then it forces you to use a translator. One of my favorite translators, I talk about it all the time, is SpanishDictionary.com. They have a free phone app. Highly recommend you use that. It's fantastic. But this way, you can say, okay, I didn't know the word bolsa. Great. Can I type that in? Oh, okay, that's what it means. It means bag. Awesome. Using my translator. That's going to help you a lot. And ultimately, since you know yourself better than anyone else does, you can feel comfortable and confident by speaking to yourself. This is a little hack that I highly recommend you try. Okay, let's move on to this side of the whiteboard. Be like Mike. Michael Jordan did not get to where he was by sitting around and just playing at his home gym and never going out and, putting himself out there. Michael Jordan made a ton of mistakes and he took a bunch of risks. In the same way that you should make mistakes when speaking with people. Look, it's inevitable. You're going to be having a conversation with someone, you're going to make a mistake, and you're going to feel embarrassed and you're like, oh my gosh, I knew that. Why did I say that? But that is part of the journey. And oftentimes, when those things happen, you actually more easily recall those things later on. So you say, oh my gosh, I'm never going to forget the phrase mucho gusto again. I can't believe I said muchos gustos instead of mucho gusto. So those little experiences, those mistakes are really going to help you improve. Okay, so be like Mike, make lots of mistakes. That is how you become an expert. And I would be lying to you if I told you that after my 10 years of learning Spanish, I never make mistakes. I still make mistakes. You're always going to make mistakes. That's part of the learning process and it's part of the fun. So accept that you're going to make mistakes and that no one is going to judge you or laugh at you because you said something incorrectly to them, okay? Next, don't pretend. Don't pretend that you understand everything people are saying to you because you're kind of doing yourself a disservice when you just smile and say, sí, when in reality, you have no idea what's going on. I understand that you don't want to stop the flow of the conversation, but ask them politely, perdón, can you say that again? ¿Puedes repetir eso, por favor? Or, no entendí eso. Or, no entendí esa palabra. I didn't understand that word. Could you say it again? Okay, so don't pretend like you know everything. Now, if you don't want to interrupt the flow of conversation, then okay, you can pretend that you know what's going on. But try to take mental notes of words and phrases that you're not understanding so that after the conversation, you can quickly write them down and research them later, okay? But try not to pretend. Ask questions. Be inquisitive. Don't let your ego hold you back, okay? Ask questions. Don't be afraid. Next is to just jump in the deep end. Just do it, okay? So many of us think, well, I'm not ready. I don't know enough vocabulary. I don't know enough grammar. But the reality is there is never a perfect time, so do it now. If today is your first day of learning Spanish, then today I want you to go and have a conversation with someone in Spanish. I know you don't feel ready, I know you might feel scared, but I promise you it is going to help you progress way faster than 99% of the people who are learning Spanish just sitting at home reading a textbook. You need to be having conversations if you want to get good. Now, you might be thinking, Nate, that's awesome, but I have no one to speak with. Okay, go online, download a free app like HelloTalk or Tandem. Yeah, you're gonna find some strange people on there, but oftentimes you'll find someone who's really great, who does want to help you, and you can have a nice language exchange. It's a lot of fun, and not only you're learning Spanish, but you're oftentimes learning about their culture. It's a lot of fun. Okay, finally, move slowly and don't stand still. Instead of just saying, you know what, I'm not good enough, I'm just not gonna have conversations because I don't feel confident, I'm not ready, I'm just not gonna do anything, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. Move slowly. Okay, that's a Lao Tzu quote right there. He says it's better to move slowly than it is to stand still. So just do a little bit per day. Maybe that's going online, talking to some random people on these apps, and talking for 5 minutes a day or 1 minute a day. Whatever you can do consistently. That is the name of the game. It's not only the name of the game when it comes to learning Spanish, but also if you want to have big muscles or eat better or whatever the heck you're trying to do in your life, if you want to get good at something, you need to do the work consistently. That is the most important thing. There's a fantastic quote, which is, consistency always, of course I'm woofing it right now. Consistency is greater than intensity, or this idea that ultimately consistency will always beat out intensity. So if I was to learn Spanish for 10 hours a day for 2 weeks, that's great, but maybe I'm gonna burn myself out. I'm not gonna wanna do it. I would much rather you learn for 10 minutes a day for the rest of your life, because ultimately you're gonna see way better results. Bueno, muchas gracias por ver este video. Please give this video a like. It really does help me out a lot. And like I said, Please subscribe and also check out my website, SpanishWithNate.com. I have my free course on there. And if you're interested in joining my full program, the Fluent Spanish Speaker Academy, and it's out of your price range, send me an email at support@SpanishWithNate.com and let's see if we can work something out. Bueno, muchas gracias por ver este video. Espero que tengas muy buen día y nos vemos muy pronto. Hasta luego.